What's up, agents, and welcome back to another PTS TU22 video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and let's get straight into it. Right, okay, so a lot of people on my ongoing directive video said, why didn't you test Sadist? That also got a change, and that is a really good shout. There's that many changes. To be honest, I didn't even think about it, but Sadist got a very interesting change. So amplifies weapon damage by 30% now, 35 for the perfect version. They've kept everything else the same. To bleeding enemies after 4 kills or after 3 kills, you bleed the next enemy you hit, but generally you do this with ongoing directives, so they're always bleeding. Now what is interesting here is the regular version went up 10%. The perfect version only went up 5%, but 30% is really good if you want to slap regular Sadist on your favorite high-end gun. This is really good if you don't want to use the Carnage. So as you can see here, I got hold of the Carnage. Mine's pretty well buffed. It's got 25% extra weapon damage on the expertise, and I have re-rolled with critical hit chance. And as you can see here, it has the perfect talent. We are going to look at just one other thing before we get into this. If I pull up my new chart that I have for current damage values, the Carnage is based on the Negev. And for burst damage anyway, it is sat middle table. For sustained damage as well, it actually is sat middle table. So it's probably your best all round for sustain and burst, with just these ones up here in front of it. But it's only, you know, just less than a 6% difference from the top to the bottom here. So you know, for burst anyway, LMGs are in a pretty good place, being only 10% all the way down to here before you hit the GR9 and the Stoner. But they're pretty different outliers because they have 250 in the mag. Now, what is really nice about the gun we've got now with the setup we are running, we have got 150 in the mag. And I am not going to lie to you when I show you this now. This is pretty sexy. You can see there already where I've been out of controller, by the way, when I was doing this, if you're wondering about the aiming. But you can see right off the rip, without any stacking whatsoever, 1.2 mil a crit. When, you know, 1.3 there. Let's just get, you know, into... It doesn't stay in armor for that long, so the armor one's actually just under a mil. The health damage is the bigger one, right? So I've got very high hopes for this build. It looks pretty crazy. I'm not going to spend forever running through Lincoln again on this. We're going to go to the Grand Washington Hotel. I'm so fed up with doing Lincoln in testing, and we'll just kind of get to the big room and just kind of, you know, go from range and see what it's actually like. Not on normal.
You're right next to the Grand Washington.
But obviously we've already got bullets in the gun because we did it in the range. But if I didn't already have bullets, I would just run in with the pulse. Well, I'm against hyenas, so they've got armored versions, so it'd be nice to see how that works out. Opening the door while reloading, still get a full mag. Nice.
Hostile radio intercepted.
We're under attack. It might be a diversion.
Can't snag him. Obviously, LMGs still have that, you know, we still have the issue, right? That you're putting things in cover. The minute I looked away, I knew it. Steamroll through his chest. Yeah, I mean, this is wild. No stacking. We're buffing the team if we've got a team with us.
Saints here.
The who now?
The who with the what?
Shot. Real unpleasant. We need to kill this asshole.
Wow, Kelso. Calm down.
Nobody gets through. Nobody.
How far can we go? Push through the armor. I mean, wow. It's what do you think you're doing? It's really nice. This in countdown, buffing the whole squad would be incredible.
Went all the way to the top
would be incredible. We hit really, really hard with no stacking required whatsoever. Like, between this and negotiators, a new meta is definitely being formed here. If you're wondering what I was running, like I showed you the Carnage before, I had crit chance rounds, crit chance in the Carnage. What is nice about the Carnage as well, you can run the linked laser pointer. I don't see why you would. There is obvious things to do with this here. So ongoing directive, only the chest piece got a buff for the 50% amp damage. So I know a lot of people like to run Ridgeway's Pride with this build, but you're just going to be, you are only then going to be taking the buff from the Carnage, from the perfect Sadist. You're not going to be taking any other buffs in at that point. So there is that to consider. The backpack I was running was one just to give me more damage. We get the nerf to Grupo, so only 13% crit damage, but weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, with Wicked giving us 18% for 20 seconds. Wicked did get a buff. You can have this with the perfect version up to 27 seconds. It's just not worth it. Nothing lives that long, unless perhaps you're doing, bosses or something like that. But even then, 27 seconds is a long time. Generally, stuff's dead way before that, if it can bleed anyway. I ran Contractor's Gloves for LMG damage, damage to armor, and crit damage. And then the rest of the OD build. So we know with OD we get status effects, which just makes them bleed longer. Reload speed works in really nice because we're using an LMG. And then we get the hollow point ammo. We do pass off half a mag to our team. Everybody knows that by now. But then weapon damage, crit damage, crit damage. The chest, weapon damage, crit chance with the increased 50% amp rounds. The holster, weapon damage, crit damage, and these weapon damage, crit damage. But this is the star of the show. That 50% damage there to that buff is really, really nice. And if what they're trying to do is to equal things out, so obviously we know Strikers has been hit, we know Heartbreaker got a buff, we know things like the Ouroboros have been touched, and all the other guns and things like that. If they're trying to even out gear set use, then this buff to ongoing directive is great. It's same with the Negotiators one, it's great. I think the Heartbreaker one's pretty good as well. Obviously, it's unfortunate for Strikers. I think it has been hit fairly harsh. I think that could be not quite as harsh. Same with all of the nerfs. My opinion so far is I think they're pretty harsh. I think if they go into nerf it, they could perhaps half most of them nerfs and it would still make a decent impact. But as far as the buffs go for these gear sets, brilliant. Absolutely like them lots. I think they've done a really good job so far with everything that I've tested. Right, I'm going to go because I've got lots of other things to test, and this one just came up in my comments after publishing the last video, so it was easy to put together. Thank you so much for all the comments. Anything you want me to test, put in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out the description for my X link and my community Discord. Be great to see you on them places as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.